Hi guys, it's Jordan from P&P Campers. Just going to do your handover video on your Swift Mondial. So we start under the bonnet here. On the left hand side we've got your starter battery, a few little electrical bits and pieces at the back there, but you don't need to worry about any of that. It's all just sort of split charging and things like that. So I'll get into that in a little minute. Your brake fluid attached to the servo just down the back is just there. Power steering fluid, it's in this reservoir at the front. Engine oil dipstick, this one here with the red top, and your engine oil actually gets topped up through this cap just here. Engine coolant goes in through this reservoir here at the top, and your washer fluid is in this reservoir over here on the very right hand side. Your chassis plate is just here, and the upgraded, well, the one that you actually go off is the same actually, but the Swift plate is just here, so it's 2800. So yeah, that's that. Diesel filling point, this one just inside here behind this little cover. If I just show you, just push that back away like that, push in here to get it to open up. I'll show you a few more bits and pieces on the inside obviously when we get into that. I'll just show you around the outside first. Should have opened that up before. Let's have a look. So, here's your toilet cassette locker. So you've got this little bit here that tells you how to use it anyway, but I will just go through it with you. So push down the little yellow part just there and then pull it out towards you. And then once you've got it all the way out, the only bits you need to know is that you empty it out from here. Blue fluid goes inside the cassette, and when you are emptying it out, you should hold down the little yellow button there at the back. This little flap here will have been lubricated as part of the habitation check, because that's the part that actually opens and closes when you open and close it on the inside. And you've also got above that your flush fluid, so this should have a little bit of pink fluid in it. I can see it's quite clear at the moment. So when you come to replacing that, you should really replace that with a watered down mix of the pink fluid. And then you've got your little level meter here, so you want it to be about where the level is now, but obviously, like I said, with the pre-mixed pink stuff. It doesn't have to be pre-mixed, it's just that you know, you can buy it, so you have to mix it yourself, but you can buy pre-mixed stuff if you want to. That's totally up to you. At the back here you've got a little bit of storage down there. Obviously there's not much we can do about this discolorant on the wood here. It's purely just for the fact that the window is there. You can see where the window stops just there. You know, they're all the same here. Not much you can do with that apart from recover the entire thing, but yeah, it's not too bad. Again, I'll show you more bits and pieces on the inside when we get around to it. These are your fridge vents just here, so these two you don't have to worry about. And you still don't have to worry about this, but if you got it lit up on gas, you can put your hand over this kind of little vent here and just double check that it's definitely lit up. If it is lit, you'll feel a little bit of warm air coming out through that, so that you can sort of prove it to yourself. You've then got your boiler vent here, so you've got, this is also your boiler drain as well, so your boiler drain is this one just down here. So you just literally loosen that off a big flathead screwdriver, and then you can drain your water out from your boiler. Hookup point is that one there, so if you plug your hookup into the vehicle, your battery will start being charged up, that's your leisure, and you'll also have access to any of your 240 volt sockets. Freshwater inlet is this one just here. And then in the actual cab itself, you've got headlight adjuster here, side lights and main beam for your actual main lights, manual windows. Your indicators are on this front little stalk just here, and your lights are on the back one. You've got a 5-speed manual gearbox where reverse is down to the bottom right. Hazard lights work just there from the middle, and you see you get a little symbol on the front there. And all of your heater settings are all these ones just here. So fan speed on the right here, and all that. Got a Kenwood single DIN head unit stereo just down there. Bonnet release is this one just here. And that's it. You got a little internal light up there which you can switch off, I think. Well, that might be on the newer ones, I'm not sure. No, so when you shut the door, that'll turn off basically. So, let me double check, so make sure I haven't missed anything out. So, we've got a drain here. Let me just check, see what we've got. So, I think this will be your freshwater drain. This one just here. And then your wastewater, oh no, sorry, I'm wrong there. So, your freshwater drain, I think, is that one just there. It's got the blue lid on it. No, I'll take that back. Right, no, this is definitely the fresh. So, this is your freshwater drain just here at the front. And your wastewater drain is this one up here. They both got blue tops on them because it would have been replaced at some point, but I'm sure this one is the fresh. So that's where they are. Okay, so I'm just gonna pop my shoes off quick before I jump in. So, we'll start here because it's probably the most normal way to do it, I suppose. So you got your control panel here. It's all pretty straightforward, actually, the way to use it. You've got battery selector just here on the left. So where I've gone to the right here, to the little caravan symbol, that means that whatever I use in the van now, so any lights or anything like that I want to turn on, so the light's on there, that's now being powered by the leisure battery. If I switched it over to the engine side here, and then turn the lights back on, it then means that your lights or whatever you're using will be powered from your engine battery. So for obvious reasons, you don't really want to do that, go to the engine side, because then you'll end up draining your engine battery out and you won't be able to start it up. So as much as you possibly can, you want to be over here on the right hand side here on this little caravan symbol, and then go ahead and do whatever you want to do, you know, lights and power wise. When you finish with using the van, just back to the middle like that, and that turns all your power off. This will slowly go down. I'll turn it back on for now. You then got your water pump switch. Pump comes on as soon as this little light comes on here, and then basically you just get water coming through to your taps. And you've got a fresh indicator, so you check this level here. If there was a full tank of water, I'd push on this side and the level would go up. If there was a full waste tank, it would go up when I push to the right. So at the moment, both tanks are completely empty. So next to that, you've got your Propex heating. So if I press this to the right here, all that happens is that cool air starts pumping out through this top vent here. It's being drawn in through the bottom one and blowing out through the top. So that's just a fan if you push to the right. If I push to the left and turn this dial up, flame will light up inside of it. And then after about 5 or 6 minutes or so, you have nice warm air coming out through this top vent. So it's as easy as that to get your heating coming on, as long as you've got your gas switched on, which I'll show you how to do in just a minute. So make sure that you don't put anything in front of this bottom vent, because otherwise no air will be able to be drawn in. Actually, I can feel already the warm air coming out from that. So that's working really, really well. You get a little orangey yellow light come on when it's actually lit up and working as well. So I'll turn that off now, like that. If you've had it on for a little while and you turn it off, it won't turn itself off straight away. The fan will normally keep running for a little while, just to like cool itself down. You've got a place here, which I think Swift were thinking about putting, you know, this is your TV point really. So because you've got the 12 volt power, aerial and 240 volt power all in the same cupboard. So that was their idea with this little fold away cupboard here. Behind that in the cupboard here, you've got, what we got? So your TV aerial booster is up there. So yeah, they've wired it exactly through to there. So that's where you would use it from. Carpets for the van are all in here, as well as the paperwork. We just thought we'd leave it all in there so that you can see that the floor's all in really good condition and all that sort of stuff. So again, it's, you know, it's up to you if you want to put the carpets back down. Sometimes it's a little bit more homely if you do. But also it just proves to you that you know, like I said, the floor's all in good nick. It's not all broken up or damaged. So that's the reason why we do that. Down here, you've got a couple of bits I want to show you. So you've got, obviously on the right there, you've got the 240 volt socket, which, as I said outside, will only work when your hookup's plugged in. But the one to the left is also 240 volt, so it won't work unless your hookup's plugged in. But that's your hot water on mains electric. So like I said, right now, nothing's going to happen. The light doesn't come on. If I plug the hookup into the van and turn that on, the boiler, as long as it's full of water, will just start heating up the water that's inside of it via the electric element. So that's if you want to use that. Make sure that you turn that off when you are finished with it, because if you accidentally leave it on, plug a hookup into the van and forget about it, then obviously you're going to run into sort of overheating problems if you've not got any water in the tank. So make sure that you turn that off when you're finished. Then got your gas locker, which is just down here. Obviously it's a nice sealed unit with this little seal going around the edges. All you need to know really is that clockwise around to the right, like this, turns the bottle off, and anti-clockwise around to the left, turns the bottle on. Make sure that you turn the bottle off and all the gas appliances before you start driving. It's really, really important, because obviously if you were in an accident, obviously we don't want that to happen, but if you were, the absolute last thing that people want is for pressurized gas to be coming out of any joints that may or may not have broken in the crash or whatever. So just make sure that you turn that off. Turning that gas bottle off saves any, but if there was a fire, for example, and something was to crack and there was gas pumping out, 30 millibars, which is what these bottles are regulated to, is a lot of pressure, and you know about it when there is a problem. So just make sure that you turn this off before you start driving every time. You've then got your 3-burner hob and grill. So the grill's underneath, obviously. You've got a little diagram for each one. So top left, grill, bottom left, bottom right. So you will need an igniter or something like that to light any of these up, because there's no ignition sort of like on the system at all. So you will need a little igniter or a lighter or something to light any of those up, but they all work exactly as they should. You've also got a thermocouple on each of those, which is the little prong of metal at the back. And what the thermocouple does is it recognises burning gas. So if I lit this one up here, the thermocouple will allow the gas to keep going through because it senses that the flame is there. If I just turned the gas on when there's no flame, the thermocouple will realise there's gas coming through but there's no flame, and it will then turn itself off, basically, is the way that works. You've then got your fridge, which is a 3-way fridge. So you can either use it on 12 volt electric when your engine's running only, 240 volt power when your hookup cable's plugged in, or gas when you got your gas on and you want to light it up like that. So basically, I'll show you. Ignition goes on, push in and round to the left, and it will light up. Sometimes you need to hold on this little dial here for a little while before the ignition will stay off. But once you let go of this and the ignition stays off, you can then know that it's lit up. So like that there, see the ignition's off now. And you'll also be able to see gas flame down there in the hole. It's a bit awkward to see on the video sometimes. But yeah, so that's how you light it up on gas. And if you want to turn it off from the gas, round to the right, ignition starts again, turn the ignition off. So I just want to explain to you how the actual fridges, well, how you should use them. So if you want to light it up on gas, then by all means you can just do that and wait a few hours and the fridge will be cold. Or if you've got a hookup plugged into the van, you can use it on the green light there, and it's the same again, 2 or 3 hours or so, and then the fridge will be cold. The 12 volt electric one here, that will only get the fridge cold once you've already got it cold once already. So you need to get it, you pre-cool it basically. So either with the gas or the 240 volt here on the green switch, and then literally just turn it over to the 12 volt here for when your engine's running and you're driving. If you turn it over to the 12 volt just there, without the engine running, first off, it won't do anything at all. Even if your fridge is warm, it hasn't been pre-chilled, and you start the engine up for a few hours with this on, it won't be cold inside when you get to it. The 12 volt only holds a temperature, it doesn't get the fridge cold on its own. So you need to make sure that you have it cold before you go, and then turn the 12 volt on just for when you're driving. And the last bit to show you really is your boiler switch. So again, obviously you've got another 240 volt socket there, but if you want to light your boiler up and get the water hot, by the gas, you've got an off button and an on button, and it really is as easy as that. All you have to do, press the on button, you get a little green light on the power on. If it doesn't light up, you get a light down here coming on, and if your power's too low to actually use it, you get that light there come on. Otherwise the green light will just stay on, and then after a half an hour or so you have hot water coming through your taps. Make sure that you switch that off when you finish with it. Make sure that light's gone out. Cupboards over the top, obviously you've got a few sort of bits and pieces around here. Just notice the stay there wants to be put on that. Yeah, so again, like I said, once you've turned that power on there, like I have now, you'll then be able to go around and use your lights and things like that. But just make sure that you have it on that caravan to the right rather than the left, because like I said, if you start using your lights and things for a few hours and you have it on the engine side on the left, you'll then realise that when you go to start it, it will just be flat. The other thing I wanted to talk to you about was the split charging. So that's what the wires were that I showed you under the bonnet. So essentially, when you start the engine up, the alternator charges your engine battery, like any car or van. And then what happens is, because it's a motorhome, it's got the split charger. The power then splits off from there, all the way through to your leisure battery. And then in turn, charges your engine battery and leisure at the same time. So when your engine's running and you're driving, your leisure battery's being charged up. And that same system there allows you to use the 12 volt on the fridge. So when your engine's running, you can use that there. Other than that, it's all bits and pieces like making sure that all of your windows are shut and sort of, you know, stowed away, everything's safe and down so that you can not, you know, nothing will smash about when you're driving. Make sure that your gas is switched off before you drive. The last thing really is the bathroom. So you've got your whale, sink and tap just there, little drain tap just down here. Some of them don't have the drain tap down here and just drain out the back, but this one obviously slightly different design, so that's there like that. This should also, there you go, that will pull out all the way in order to make up for your shower up there. I'll go into that little gap. I'll just poke that back through for now, because obviously it's all been tested as part of the hab check, so it's full of water, so I'll get it soaking wet. So yeah, that's that. Push that all the way back up like that to stow that away, and then you've got your toilet, which couldn't be much easier. You've got a toilet roll holder down here, and then you've got push down, flush fluid pumps around, twist it, allows it to go into the cassette, and then twist it back round, closes the flap. Really couldn't get much easier than that. This bathroom obviously has been, you know, scrubbed so it's perfectly clean, but also it's really good condition. These normally sort of cracked and bits and pieces broken off all around these bathrooms, but yeah, really nice condition. So let me just make sure there's nothing else. I don't think there is. I think I've shown you everything I can. Obviously there's bits and pieces, you know, that I haven't shown you, but I know that you've been to see the van already, so you've already got a pretty good idea of what it is. Extra cushions up there for the bed. Yeah, so like I said, make sure that everything's stowed away, make sure that your gas is switched off. Power, that can go off. You don't need to leave the power on to use the fridge. The fridge will always work on that red dial there as soon as you start the engine up. Just pop that back over. But yeah, otherwise it's all pretty straightforward. Yeah, just making sure that everything's stowed away, windows are shut, skylights are down, gas is switched off, fridge is switched over to the red 12 volt switch. Start your engine up and go. That's it really. So I hope there's nothing that I've missed out that you sort of desperately wanted to see. If there is anything that you think I've missed out, you can just let us know when you come down, or, you know, give us a ring. But yeah, otherwise I look forward to seeing you soon to collect your van. Thanks very much.